I know he rubbed some guys the wrong way, and he could be a hard ass, but many of those guys who were pissed at him still performed at the highest level of their careers. You don't have to like your coach, but you must respect your coach. If you're on good terms all the time, then he's probably not pushing you hard enough. Nobody on Mike's teams was on good terms with him all the time, but he made sure his players were always paying attention. I liked that he was not afraid of confrontation if it was going to make the team better. Mike had an unwavering belief in our team and an unwavering willingness to stand up for his vision for success. At no point was that more evident than at the trade deadline in 1994, when he pushed hard to make a series of moves that ultimately made a huge difference in our championship run. We were sitting in first place as the trade deadline approached. What first-place team makes wholesale changes at the deadline? But Mike knew we were missing key ingredients that we needed to go all the way. Credit to General Manager Neil Smith for making the deals, but credit to Mike for identifying the players who would make a difference and pushing the organization to acquire them. Entering the NHL playoffs in the spring of 1994, the Rangers faced an unbelievable amount of pressure. We'd finished the regular season first overall and won the President's Trophy. Expectations in the New York market had never been greater, and we couldn't shy away from those expectations. We had to slay the dragon. Anything less would be a failure. As for how it ended for Mike in New York with the Rangers, well, he will tell his side of the story. But whatever was going on behind the scenes was not a distraction to the players in the room. For me and the other players, it was very simple. Stay focused and finish the job. And we did. With almost every championship team, the leadership group has a good relationship with the coach, and you see it in the celebration and embrace afterwards. In 1994, you saw it when I skated to the bench and handed Mike Keenan the prize he'd been working so hard for so long to get his hands on, the Stanley Cup. For obvious reasons, he calls it one of the favorite moments of his whole career. Handing Mike that trophy was one of mine. Mark Messier. 1. I really am a bastard. Family and hockey. I really am a bastard. There, I said it. Over my 6 decades as a coach and general manager in a variety of leagues from high school to junior to the pros in several countries and continents, players have referred to me in many different languages, using many different terms, most of them not terribly flattering. And no doubt I deserved most of them. But it was my good friend, Jay Greenberg, who summed it up best. Jay, for those not familiar, was the hockey beat writer for the Daily News in Philadelphia when I got my first job as a head coach in the National Hockey League with the Flyers in 1984. He was a great guy and great writer with a quick wit, and he was honored by the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2013. Jay was originally going to write this book with me, but he passed away at the age of 71 on August 12, 2021, of complications from, of all things, West Nile virus. So very tragic and sad. Jay once said to me that of all those names the players had muttered and sometimes screamed, one is correct by dictionary definition. Jay was right. I was born out of wedlock on October 21st, 1949. Yes, I was a bastard. Still am. Of course, for many of those players, I was also a bastard of a coach. But more about that later. I was born in Bowmanville, Ontario, to Thelma Chatterton, who was 19 at the time and previously married, and Ted Keenan. Bowmanville is about a 1-hour drive east of Toronto, and it was a stone's throw from Oshawa, where my parents had lived until the pregnancy, which was not a proud moment for a very Catholic family. Anyway, after I came along, they moved back to Oshawa, and over time, along came my sister Marie.